Good day. I am going to answer the questions in Activity 4 in this course, Accounting Information System. So let's start. The first question would be, what is the component of element of the AIS? Okay, we have five components. First would be the hardware. We have the software, the data, people, and procedures. Okay, first would be the hardware. So hardware is just the physical component of the computer. Okay, and it consists of um, devices within the case of the computer itself and other peripheral equipment that are connected to the computer, such as mouse and keyboard. And computer hardware must work together with the other system to accomplish data processing tasks. Okay, so hardware alone is not enough. Okay, so that's why it is called an interactive component, because hardware without software, hardware would stand idle, and it what's the purpose of the hardware? Okay, so next would be the software. Okay, software are the instructions that tell a computer what to do, and software comprises the entire set of programs and procedures routine associated with the operation of the computer system. And the third component of the AAS is the computer data. And computer data is information that are being processed or that are processed or stored by a computer. Okay, the computer data is very essential and crucial to the AAS because the first objective of the AAS is to collect data. Okay, so without computer data, the other components of the AAS would be useless. And let's proceed to the fourth, which is the people. So the people are the system users. Okay, so they help the different departments achieve the data processing in the AAS, and they help the different departments also within the company work together. So who are these people in AAS? So basically, they are the accountants, the consultants, business analyst, manager or auditor. The fifth component of the AS would be the procedures. Okay, so these are the methods it uses for collecting, storing, retrieving, and processing data. And these methods are both manual and automated. So either of those, it depends on the company or it depends on the entity. Without the procedures, which is the component of the AS, accounting data could not be gathered accurately or distributed properly. So these five components are they are interactive. They should be interactive. Once the one component is missing, then um, the whole objective and the goal of the AS could not be achieved. For the next question, question number two, what are POS or what are point on sale, and enumerate their advantages against the manual data collection system. And the point on sale system is a combination of hardware and software to facilitate your business operations. Technically, these POS devices record and gather data electronically at the time. And again, a POS consists of software and hardware to run the software. And hardware includes a computer, first physical terminal, a scanner, a printer, and other devices, while the software tracks and organizes your storage information. And during this day, POS devices has proven more advantageous against the manual data collection system because manual data collection system mostly costs time, and we know that time is the essential in operations of the business, in which you need to be efficient, and by efficient it means that you need to produce the something with the minimal amount of effort. Okay, and that includes time. Okay, and as I said, it is more advantageous against the data collection, manual data collection system, because it increased efficiency. Okay, and when your employees have the right tools to support how they work, your operations will run more efficiently. Yeah, and the second would be it has a better inventory management. Okay, and in data in manual data collection system, at the end of the period you have to physical count the inventory. Now that POS devices has risen in the business industry, um, it offers better inventory management against manual data collection system. And a POS makes it easy to keep track of the inventory your store has, and it allows you to manage your inventory in real time and know the number of products you own over a given period. So that is the second reason why it is more advantageous against the manual data collection system. Next is the quick payments, and a point of sale helps makes payment faster, and the employee selects the products the consumer wants to buy, and the system automatically calculates the price. Yeah, and the invoice. Okay, the sales invoice can be sent by email or printed directly on the spot with a receipt printer. So with a point on sale, waiting time is greatly reduced for consumers, and employees can be more efficient in completing transactions. So again, being efficient in operations is possible for gaining enough or more profit. Yeah, and there's a lot behind that profit gained by the company. So there's one of that is the management. The management has the also a crucial role in gaining that profit against gaining that profit behind that financial statements. For the third question, enumerate some AAS input devices and indicate its purpose, including how each is used. Okay, so first is AAS input devices. These are devices that are used to enter financial transaction information into the accounting system. Okay, and basically it happens in the first phase of the AAS, which is the collection of data, and these devices are used to collect data. And one of the actually there are a lot of devices that under the AS input devices, but mostly uh, popular are the barcode scanner. Okay, so the barcode scanner is also called a point on sale scanner. Is a device used to capture and read information contained in a barcode. So basically we know how to identify barcode, just like in we go to the supermarket or the malls. Behind the product there is a barcode there, and usually when you go to the cashier wants just put it near the red light thing. So that is the barcode scanner, and it is used to enter financial transaction information. The next example of device under the AAS input devices is the plastic cards with magnetic stripes. So a magnetic stripe card is a type of pass that permits the user to complete electronic transactions or access locked physical space. The stripe contains embedded information that identify its users. Okay, so the type of magnetic stripe cards currently in use, like the driver license, the credit cards, the employee ID cards, gift cards, and public transit cards. For the third example, probably the last, is the magnetic ink character recognition and the MICR. Okay, so the MICR is a device that can recognize human readable characters printed on the documents, such as checks. Okay, using the magnetic special magnetic ink. Okay, and the MICR read head is a device built into a scanner designed to read the magnetic signal emitted by the MICR ink characters on the check. Okay, and each characters on that check produces a unique waveform which is read and translated by the MICR read head. So that is basically the device, how it is used, on what its purpose to enter into to enter financial transaction information and how it is used in the first phase of the AAS. So we have the, as I stated, three. We have the barcode scanners, we have the magnetic stripe card, and the third one would be the MICR, or the magnetic ink character recognition. For the fourth question, enumerate some AAS output devices and indicate its purpose and how each is used. Okay, so these output devices, it it's either used to produce a output which is in a form of soft copy or hard copy. So one device that is used to produce a hard copy output is basically the printer. Okay, and it is an output device which basically prints paper documents. Okay, and this includes text, documents, images, or combination of both. And for the second one, which is the device that produces um, software output, is the monitor. Okay, so a standard output device is the computer monitor, and which displays text, images, and user interface elements by lighting up of thousands of pixels with different colors. So we know the soft copy. Okay, so it is the copy which is not printed yet. Yeah, and it is just stored in the computer, so you can read it in the computer. While if you print that one, so that becomes the hard copy output. Okay, so that is for the fourth question. For the fifth question, what is primary memory, what is the secondary memory, and explain what will happen to a computer without each of these components. Okay, so first is the primary memory. So we know primary memory is the main memory of the computer system, and the primary memory is most volatile, which means data in primary memory does not exist if it is not saved when the power failure occur. Okay, and accessing data from the primary memory is faster because it is an internal memory of the computer. And what will happen to a computer without the primary memory? So basically, the computer won't run because the primary memory is the system's volatile storage mechanism, while the secondary memory, so again, the primary memory is volatile, while in the secondary memory it is non-volatile, and it is considered as the long-term storage. Okay, and it is used to keep programs and data indefinitely, and without secondary storage, all programs and data would be lost the moment the computer is switched off. So that will happen when there is no secondary memory in the computer. For the sixth and the last question, what is CPU? What are the two main parts of a CPU? And what are the most specifications of a CPU? So first is we need to define the CPU, or the central processing unit. So the CPU is the primary component of the computer that processes instructions, and the CPU contains at least one processor, and which is the actual chip inside the CPU that performs calculations. And the CPU has two main parts, and it is the control unit and the arithmetic logic unit. So for the control unit, it regulates the processor's operation, and while the arithmetic logic unit is it actually crunches numbers and compare values. So that are the two main parts of the CPU. And there are a lot of specifications of a CPU, and one of which is the processor's clock speed. Okay, and a processor's clock speed it refers to the number of cycles that are performed every second of using the computer. And next would be the multi-core technology, which is the ability to multiple microprocessor, which is referred to as cores on a single processing chip. And by doing so, a multi-core CPU is allowed to do two things at once, and rather than having to process one thing at a time. And this significantly increases a processor's performance. And the last would be the operating frequency, which is the, I think the one of the specification of the CPU. The operating frequency is how fast it can complete a single cycle of work, and the higher the frequency, the faster it can complete as a single cycle of work. So that, again, I stated three, which are processors, clock speed, multi-core technology, and the operating frequency. So that are the most specifications of a CPU. That's it. Thank you.